Imagine living in a world with no phones, no television, no internet, and no electricity. When the sun goes down, the day truly ends. No screens to scroll, no videos to watch, only darkness, firelight, and the people around you. Now pause for a moment and ask yourself, how would you have fun? Welcome to An Amazing Storyteller. I'm really glad you're here. Today, I want to gently take you back in time, many centuries ago, to a medieval town. Not the dramatic version from movies, but a real place with ordinary people living ordinary lives. Life back then was hard. Most people worked with their hands. They woke up early, worked long hours, and depended on the weather for food and survival. And yet, just like us, they still needed joy. They still needed laughter. They still needed moments that made life feel lighter. As the morning begins, the town slowly wakes up. Smoke rises from small chimneys, wooden doors open. People step outside and greet each other, not because they want to be polite, but because community is everything here. There is no clear line between work and fun. Entertainment is not something you watch alone. It is something you share. If this kind of slow, thoughtful storytelling helps you relax or improve your English, you can gently support the channel by liking the video or subscribing. It really helps more people find these stories. As you listen, notice something important. Fun in this world is simple. There are no special buildings for entertainment, no tickets, no schedules. Instead, fun appears wherever people gather. A market can become exciting. A story can become entertainment. A song can stop a crowd. People laugh easily here, not because life is easy, but because laughter helps them carry it. And that's something that hasn't changed, even after hundreds of years. Before we go further, I'd love to hear from you. As you're listening right now, tell me in the comments, where are you listening from and what time is it for you? As the day moves forward, the town will grow louder. Music will appear. Games will begin. Stories will be shared. And little by little, we'll discover how people found joy in a world without modern entertainment. As the morning settles into the day, something becomes very clear in this town. Time is not measured the way we measure it today. There are no clocks on walls, no alarms buzzing in pockets. Instead, people look at the sky. They listen to church bells. They remember dates by events, not numbers. For most villagers, ordinary days are filled with work. But certain days feel different, lighter, louder, and full of expectation. These are special days. Days marked on the calendar not by ink, but by tradition. Feast days. When a feast day approaches, the town begins to change. People talk about it while working. Children ask questions. Food is saved carefully, sometimes for weeks. On these days, work slows down. Not completely, but enough for people to breathe. The square becomes busier than usual. Benches are moved. Tables appear. Someone hangs simple decorations made from cloth or greenery. No one needs to be told what to do. Everyone already knows. These celebrations are not about luxury. They are about togetherness. Food tastes better when it is shared. Music feels warmer when many people hear it at once. And stories sound funnier when the whole crowd laughs. If you're enjoying this slow walk through history, feel free to share the video with someone who likes calm storytelling or wants to improve their English through listening. No pressure, just a quiet thank you. For people in this town, these days matter deeply. They break the routine. They remind everyone that life is not only about survival. And even those who have very little feel rich for a moment. rich in company, in sound, and in memory. As the crowd gathers, you can feel it. Something is about to begin. Music will soon fill the air, voices will rise, and the town, usually focused on work, will turn its attention to joy. Before we move on, think about this. In your own life, which days feel special? What makes them different? You can write your answer in the comments if you'd like. I read them and they help shape future stories. As the crowd grows louder, we step closer, and the heart of the town opens in front of us. As we move closer to the center of town, the quiet feeling slowly disappears. Voices overlap. Footsteps echo on packed dirt. The air feels alive. This is the market. On most days, it is a place of work. But on busy days, it becomes something more. It becomes one of the most exciting places in the town. Wooden stalls line the square. Some are carefully built. Others look like they were put together only this morning. Cloth is stretched across poles to block the sun. Baskets sit open, filled with vegetables, bread, and simple goods. People do not just come here to buy things. They come to see what is new. They come to hear news from other villages. They come to meet people they have not seen in weeks. A merchant speaks loudly, hoping his voice will rise above the noise. Nearby, two villagers argue gently over a price, not angrily, but as part of the process. Children move quickly through the crowd, curious about everything. The market feels busy, but not rushed. No one is in a hurry. Time stretches differently here. Someone laughs at a small joke. Someone else tells a short story while waiting. Even simple moments become entertainment. If you're finding it easy to follow the story so far, that's a good sign. Your listening skills are improving naturally, just by being here. If this style helps you, you can quietly support the channel by liking the video or subscribing. It helps the stories reach more people like you. As the crowd grows, something else begins to happen. Music. A simple tune drifts across the square. It doesn't stop anyone from shopping, but it changes the mood. People slow down. Some turn their heads. Some smile without realizing it. The market is no longer just a place to trade goods. It becomes a place to gather, to watch, and to listen. And as the sound carries through the air, we begin to understand something important. In this world, fun does not need permission. It appears wherever people meet. Stay close. There is more waiting just ahead. The music does not come from a large stage. There is no spotlight, no announcement. It simply exists. Near the edge of the square, a small group of musicians stands together. Their instruments are simple. A stringed instrument rests against one shoulder. A wooden flute catches the light. A small drum keeps a steady beat. The melody is not loud. It does not demand attention, but slowly it pulls people in. A woman pauses while holding a basket. A man leans against a post, listening. A child stops moving and watches closely, eyes wide with curiosity. Music in this town is not something rare. It appears during work, during travel, and during rest. It fills spaces that words cannot. Some songs tell stories. Others repeat the same lines again and again. And that repetition makes them easy to remember. People do not clap at the end. There is no clear beginning or ending. The music moves through the crowd like a quiet guest, welcome but never demanding. If you're enjoying this gentle pace, you can share the video with someone who enjoys calm storytelling or is learning English through listening. It's a small action, but it helps keep these stories alive. As the tune continues, something interesting happens. Strangers begin to feel familiar. People who have never spoken before stand close, listening to the same sound. For a moment, everyone belongs to the same experience. Music does not change their lives. It does not remove their worries, but it gives them something important. A pause, a breath, a feeling that they are not alone. And as the final notes fade into the noise of the market, the day continues, lighter than before. Just ahead, voices rise again, not in song this time, but in stories. As the music slowly fades, the noise of the market changes. It does not disappear, it softens. The sun begins to lower in the sky and the air feels cooler. People finish their work, pack their goods, and start moving back toward their homes. Inside the houses, fires are lit. The smell of wood and smoke fills the rooms. Shadows dance on the walls as flames flicker gently. This is the time when stories begin. People gather close to the fire, not because it is cold, but because it feels right. Benches are pulled closer. Children sit on the floor. Someone clears their throat. There are no books in most homes, no written scripts. Stories live in memory. Some are old, some are new. Some change a little every time they are told. A storyteller begins slowly. Their voice is calm but confident. They speak clearly, pausing often, letting each word settle. The story may be about a long journey, or a clever farmer, or something strange that happened many years ago, or maybe only yesterday. Not everything needs to be true to be meaningful. What matters is how the story feels. People smile at familiar parts. They laugh before the funny moment even arrives. They know what comes next, and they enjoy it anyway. If you enjoy listening to stories like this, you can quietly support the channel by subscribing or leaving a comment. Even a short message helps build this small storytelling community. As the fire crackles, the storyteller slows down. Their voice drops slightly. The room grows quiet. Stories here are more than entertainment. They teach, they warn, they comfort. And for a little while, worries fade into the background. As the last words are spoken, no one rushes to speak. The silence is part of the story too. Soon, another voice will rise. Another tale will begin. And just like that, the night carries on. As nights grow longer and the air turns colder, the town begins to feel different. Days are shorter now. Darkness arrives earlier, and people stay closer to home. Winter changes the rhythm of life. Work continues, but more slowly. Hands move stiffly in the cold. Voices sound quieter outdoors. Inside, fires burn longer, and people gather earlier than before. And then, on certain evenings, something unexpected happens. A knock. Not loud, not urgent, just a steady sound at the door. When the door opens, familiar faces appear, but they look different. Some wear simple masks. Others pull hoods low over their faces. A few stay silent, letting gestures speak for them. This is not a threat, it is a tradition. During the winter season, groups move from house to house, bringing small performances with them. They sing. They act out short scenes. Sometimes they speak. Sometimes they don't. The mystery is part of the fun. Children watch closely, trying to guess who is behind each mask. Adults pretend not to know, even when they are sure. Laughter fills the room, not loud and wild, but warm and shared. If you enjoy these quiet moments of history and storytelling, you can gently support the channel by liking the video or sharing it with someone who enjoys calm listening. There's no rush, just a quiet thank you. These visits do not last long. A song, a gesture, a short performance, and then the group moves on to the next house. No tickets, no payment, just tradition passed from one winter to the next. For people in this town, These moments break the long darkness. They remind everyone that winter will end, that light will return. As the door closes and the fire settles again, the room feels warmer than before. And somewhere outside, footsteps fade into the night, carrying the next small moment of joy with them. As winter slowly loosens its grip, people begin to spend more time outside again. The cold remains, but the days feel brighter. And with that change, the town prepares for something bigger. Not a quiet visit, not a small gathering around a fire. Something public. In the center of town, wooden platforms are built. They are simple, raised just enough so people can see. There are no painted backdrops, no curtains. Still, everyone knows what is coming. On the day of the performance, the square fills early. Families arrive together. Neighbors stand side by side. Even people from nearby villages come to watch. These performances tell familiar stories, stories many people already know. But seeing them acted out makes them feel new again. The actors are not professionals. They are ordinary townspeople. A baker plays one role, a carpenter plays another. Costumes are basic, voices are clear, movements are slow and deliberate so everyone can understand. The crowd watches closely. Some people smile, others nod quietly, already knowing what will happen next. If you enjoy learning English through listening to clear, simple stories like this one, you can support the channel by subscribing or leaving a short comment. It helps these calm stories reach more learners like you. The performance lasts for hours with breaks in between. People talk about what they've seen. They point out small details. They explain parts of the story to children. This is not just entertainment. It is shared memory. When the final scene ends, there is no loud applause. Instead, there is a feeling of togetherness, a sense that everyone has experienced something meaningful together. As the crowd slowly disperses, the square returns to normal, but the stories stay with them. And as voices fade and footsteps move away, we begin to notice something else. Even when there is no stage, people are always ready to perform. When the square finally empties and the noise fades, life becomes quieter again. Not empty, just calm. Inside homes, the evenings slow down. Fires burn lower. Candles are placed carefully. People sit closer together, not to perform, but to pass the time. On a small wooden table, a simple game appears. The pieces are not fancy. They are made of wood, bone, or stone. Some are smooth from years of use. Others are chipped at the edges. Two people sit across from each other. They do not rush. They think. A move is made. Then another. Silence fills the space between turns. These games are not loud. They do not draw a crowd, but they hold attention in a different way. They teach patience, they reward careful thinking, and they turn quiet evenings into shared moments. Children watch closely, learning the rules by observing. They memorize patterns. They wait for their turn to play. If this kind of slow storytelling helps you relax or understand English more clearly, you can quietly support the channel by liking the video or subscribing. Even a small action helps keep these stories going. Sometimes the game ends quickly. Sometimes it lasts a long time. There is no winner announced loudly. No celebration. Just a small nod, a smile, and the pieces are put away. What matters is not who wins. What matters is the time spent together. As the fire crackles softly, the room grows still again. But even in silence, something remains. Focus, connection, and the quiet joy of sharing a moment. And as the night deepens, another kind of game begins to appear, one that depends less on skill and more on chance. Not every game in this town requires patience or planning. Some games are faster, louder, and a little more risky. As the evening grows later, people drift toward warmer, noisier spaces. A small room fills with voices. Benches scrape softly against the floor. Someone places a cup down on the table. And then, with a short sound, dice roll. They're small objects, carved carefully from bone or wood. Simple to look at, but powerful in what they create. Everyone leans in. Unlike board games, these games move quickly. There is no long silence between turns, no deep thinking, only hope and chance. A number appears, someone smiles, someone else sighs. Sometimes the reward is small, a coin, a drink, a promise. Sometimes there is no reward at all, only the feeling of playing. People laugh easily here. They tease one another. They tell the same jokes again and again. Winning feels good, but losing does not feel heavy because the game moves on quickly. If you're enjoying the story so far, you can quietly leave a comment or subscribe to the channel. No pressure, it just helps these calm stories reach more listeners. Children are often told to stay back and watch. They learn by observing. They memorize the sounds, the movements, the excitement. For adults, these games offer something important, a break from thinking, a break from planning, just a moment where the future depends on a small roll across the table. As the dice are gathered and the table clears, the noise slowly fades. People stand, they stretch, they prepare to leave. The night is still young, and outside there is space to move. Soon the games will shift again, from tables and benches to open ground and open air. When the doors finally open and people step outside, the air feels different, cooler, fresher, open. Beyond the houses and narrow streets, there is space to move. Wide ground, short grass, clear sky. This is where practice happens. In the distance, wooden targets stand upright. They are simple and worn, marked by many arrows from many years. People take turns stepping forward, holding bows that feel familiar in their hands. They do not rush. An arrow is placed carefully. A breath is taken. The bowstring pulls back. Then, release. The arrow flies. Sometimes it hits the center. Sometimes it misses. No one laughs loudly. No one complains. Each attempt is part of learning. For many people here, this is not just a game. It is a skill practiced again and again, quietly and patiently. Children watch closely from the side. They count shots. They try to copy the stance. They imagine their own turn in the future. If this slow, clear storytelling helps you stay focused or understand English better, you can gently support the channel by liking the video or subscribing. It helps these stories continue. Between shots, people talk. They give small advice. They share stories from past practice days. The mood is calm but focused. There is satisfaction in trying, in improving little by little, in seeing progress over time. As the sun lowers, arrows are gathered. Bows are unstrung. People stretch their arms and begin to leave. The ground grows quiet again. But not everyone is ready to slow down. Nearby, voices rise. Movement increases. And soon, games that use the whole body will begin. Not far from the archery field, the atmosphere begins to change. The quiet focus gives way to movement. Voices grow louder. Laughter becomes easier. This is where strength turns into play. A small group gathers in an open space. Coats are loosened, shoes press firmly into the ground. Two people step forward and face each other. There are no judges, no written rules. Everyone already understands how this works. Hands grip shoulders, feet shift for balance. For a moment, both stand still. Then they move. The contest is simple. Push, pull, hold your ground. The crowd watches closely, calling out encouragement. Not loudly, not harshly, just enough to keep the energy alive. These games are not about hurting anyone. They are about testing strength, about learning balance, about knowing your limits. Someone slips and laughs. Someone else helps them up. Children stand nearby, eyes wide, copying the movements with their own small bodies. They wrestle in the dust afterward, repeating what they saw. If you're enjoying this slow journey through everyday history, you can quietly support the channel by leaving a like or a short comment. It helps more people discover these calm stories. For adults, these contests offer release, a way to use the body after long days of work, a way to compete without anger. Winning matters, but not too much. Losing does not stay heavy. When the game ends, people brush off their clothes. They smile. They step aside so others can try. The ground holds the marks of many feet. The air carries the sound of shared effort. And as the group slowly disperses, something else begins to form nearby. A crowd, a shout, a sudden burst of motion. A different kind of game is about to begin, one that fills the entire field. What begins with a few voices quickly becomes something bigger. Someone kicks a simple ball forward. Another person runs after it. Then another joins. In moments, the open field fills with movement. This game has no clear boundaries, no lines drawn on the ground, no referee watching closely. The goal is simple. Move the ball forward. Keep it away from the other side. People shout directions. Some laugh. Some run as fast as they can. Dust rises from the ground as feet pound the earth. Coats flap, arms swing. It looks chaotic, and in many ways it is. But everyone understands the unspoken rules. Do not hold too long. Do not strike in anger. And if someone falls, help them up. Children chase after the ball with excitement, even when they can't keep up. Older villagers stand to the side, calling out advice or cheering familiar faces. If you're enjoying this calm storytelling and clear English, you can gently support the channel by liking the video or subscribing. It helps these stories reach more listeners who enjoy learning through listening. The game moves across the field like a wave, first one direction, then the other. There is no fixed ending. The game continues until people grow tired, until laughter replaces running, until breath becomes heavy. When it finally slows, players bend over, catching their breath. Hands rest on knees, smiles spread easily. No one asks who won. What matters is the shared energy, the movement, the moment of freedom. As people begin to drift away, the field grows quiet again, but the feeling stays behind. And as the crowd thins, something gentler returns. Music, voices, and movement meant not for competition, but for closeness. As the running slows and the field grows quieter, the mood begins to change again. Energy does not disappear. It transforms. Music returns, softer this time. A steady rhythm, a familiar tune. People move closer together, forming loose circles. Feet shift, hands lift slightly. Someone takes the first step. And just like that, dancing begins. There is no stage, no special floor, only open ground and shared space. The movements are simple. Step forward, step back, turn, pause. Everyone knows these steps. They've seen them many times before. Dancing here is not about showing skill. It is about being seen, about being present. Young people pay close attention to how they move and where they stand. A glance lasts a moment longer. A smile is careful, not careless. There are rules, even if no one speaks them aloud. Some movements are polite, others are not. Adults watch quietly from the side, noticing everything. Who dances with whom? Who stands alone? Who laughs easily? If you enjoy learning English through these slow, everyday scenes, you can quietly support the channel by liking the video or leaving a comment. It helps these stories continue. For many, this is the most important part of the day, not because it is exciting, but because it is meaningful. Here, friendships grow, trust begins, and sometimes love takes its first step. As the music slows, people drift apart again. Some stay close, others step back. The moment passes, gently. Nearby, warm light begins to glow once more. Voices soften. Conversation replaces movement. And soon, everyone will find their way inside, drawn once again to a familiar place of comfort and talk. As evening deepens, people begin to move indoors again. The air grows cooler, voices lower. One building stays bright long after others begin to darken. Inside, the room is warm. Firelight fills the space. The smell of drink and cooked food lingers in the air. This is where people come to sit, not to perform, but to talk. Benches line the walls. Tables are worn smooth from years of use. Cups are lifted, set down, lifted again. Conversation flows easily here. Some speak quietly. Others speak with their hands, telling stories that grow larger with every telling. Laughter breaks out, not all at once, but in waves. A joke travels across the room. Someone repeats it. Someone improves it. No one rushes. This place is not about escape. It is about connection. People share complaints about the day. They talk about the weather. They discuss small problems and simple plans. If you enjoy these calm, human moments from history, you can gently support the channel by liking the video or subscribing. It helps more people find these stories. Newcomers are welcomed easily. A space is made on the bench. A cup is passed. Here, status matters less. Work is left outside the door. As the fire settles, voices soften. Some people lean back. Others listen more than they speak. For a little while, worries feel lighter. When people finally stand to leave, they do so slowly. No one wants to rush the end. Outside, the night waits quietly. And as doors close behind them, the warmth remains inside, ready for the next gathering and the next story. After many weeks of cold air and long nights, something begins to change. The mornings feel softer. Light stays a little longer. Slowly, color returns to the town. Branches that once looked empty begin to show green. Small flowers appear along the paths. People notice these changes without speaking about them too much. They simply feel it. As the weather improves, people spend more time outside again. Doors stay open longer, voices carry through the streets. And one day, the town looks different. Green branches are cut and brought into the square. Flowers are woven together. Simple decorations appear. Nothing expensive, nothing perfect, but full of meaning. People gather, not because they are told to, but because everyone knows this moment matters. Spring has arrived. Music sounds lighter now. Movements feel easier. Children run freely, laughing without thinking. For adults, this season brings relief. Winter is behind them. Work in the fields will begin again, but hope comes with it. If you're enjoying this calm way of learning English through listening, you can gently support the channel by liking the video or leaving a short comment. It helps these stories continue. Food is shared outdoors. People sit on the ground or stand in small groups. There is no rush. Spring celebrations are not about wealth. They are about renewal, about starting again. As the day moves on, the town feels lighter. Smiles come more easily. Conversations last longer. And as evening approaches, people carry this feeling with them, a quiet reminder that change is possible and that brighter days always return. While most of the town celebrates together in simple ways, not everyone spends their free time the same way. Beyond the village, past the fields and narrow paths, life feels quieter, more controlled, more measured. Here, leisure looks different. A small group moves slowly across open land. Their clothing is finer. Their movements are careful. This kind of enjoyment is not shared by many. It requires time. It requires training. And it requires resources. Animals are handled with care. Commands are short and clear. Every action feels planned. For those who live this life, leisure is not loud or playful. It is calm. It is precise. There is pride in skill, pride in control, and pride in doing something well. Others may watch from a distance, curious but quiet. This world feels separate, not better, just different. If you enjoy exploring these contrasts through calm storytelling and queer English, you can gently support the channel by subscribing or leaving a comment. It helps keep these stories going. This kind of leisure reflects status more than joy. It shows who someone is and where they belong. And yet, even here, the goal is familiar: to feel capable, to feel respected, to feel a moment of peace. As the group moves on, the open land grows quieter again. Birds return. The wind moves through tall grass. And somewhere in the distance, the sound of the town still carries, reminding us that joy takes many forms, depending on where you stand. Soon, attention will shift once more, back toward crowds, back toward spectacle. As word begins to spread, the mood of the town shifts again. This time, the excitement is impossible to miss. People talk about it days in advance. They repeat the news in markets and doorways. Visitors arrive from nearby places, curious and expectant. Something important is coming. Outside the town, a wide open space is prepared. The ground is cleared. Wooden barriers are built. Colorful cloth hangs where people will stand and watch. This is not a quiet gathering. This is a spectacle. Men in heavy clothing move carefully, checking straps and equipment. Metal catches the light. Horses stamp the ground, restless but trained. Everything here feels deliberate. For those taking part, this is not a game. It is practice. It is display. It is a way to show skill, courage, and control. The crowd watches closely. Children sit on shoulders. Adults point and explain what they see. If you enjoy listening to clear, calm English through stories like this, you can gently support the channel by liking the video or subscribing. It helps these stories reach more listeners. When the signal is given, attention sharpens. The noise lowers. Eyes focus forward. Movement begins. What follows is not chaos, but order. Rules are understood. Roles are clear. For the audience, it is thrilling to watch. For those inside the space, it is serious and demanding. This moment brings the town together again, not around food or music, but around skill and reputation. As the event continues, cheers rise and fall. Names are remembered. Stories begin forming even before it ends. And soon, the focus will narrow even further. from many competitors to two riders facing each other alone. The noise around the field slowly fades, not because people leave, but because attention tightens. Now only two riders remain in focus. They sit high on their horses, facing each other across the open ground. Armor fits closely, heavy but familiar. Hands tighten around long wooden lances. Between them, the space feels wide and silent. The horses shift beneath their riders, trained but alert. The ground is firm. The path is clear. Everyone knows what is about to happen. This moment is not about speed alone. It is about balance, timing, control. A signal is given. Both horses move forward, slowly at first, then faster. Hooves strike the earth in rhythm. The distance closes quickly. For a brief second, everything aligns. Horse, rider, aim. Then, impact. Wood strikes shield. The sound echoes across the field. The crowd reacts all at once. One rider stays seated. The other sways, fighting to keep balance. Win or lose, the moment passes in an instant. If you're enjoying this calm, descriptive storytelling and learning English through listening, you can gently support the channel by liking the video or subscribing. It helps these stories continue. The riders slow their horses and turn back. They are watched carefully. A nod is exchanged. This contest is dangerous, but it is also controlled. Rules matter. Skill matters. For the crowd, it is unforgettable. For the riders, it is proof of training and discipline. As the field settles and the noise softens again, stories are already forming in people's minds. But the day is not finished. As excitement fades, reflection begins. Not all entertainment brings comfort. Some moments leave the crowd quiet, thoughtful. And as the light starts to change, attention turns once more towards scenes that feel heavier and harder to watch. As the excitement fades and people begin to disperse, the feeling of the day changes once more. Laughter softens, voices lower. Not all public gatherings are joyful. In this world, the town square serves many purposes. It is a place for markets, for music, for celebration. But at times, it is also a place where authority is shown. People gather again, this time more quietly. They stand farther apart. Faces look serious. What happens here is not meant to entertain in the way games do. It is meant to teach. In medieval towns, certain punishments were carried out in public, not because people enjoyed cruelty, but because public order mattered deeply. The crowd watches, not cheering, not laughing. Some look away, some remain still. Children are often told to stay close to adults. Voices explain softly what is happening and why. If you're listening closely, you may notice something important. This moment feels uncomfortable, and it should. History is not always easy to hear, but understanding it helps us see how much the world has changed. If these honest, thoughtful stories help you learn English and understand history at the same time, you can quietly support the channel by liking the video or leaving a short comment. It helps keep this space respectful and educational. For people in the past, public punishment was part of daily life. It reinforced rules. It reminded everyone of responsibility. Today, we may see it differently. We question it. We reflect on it. And that reflection is important. As the crowd slowly breaks apart, the square empties once again. The air feels heavy for a moment, then lighter as people move away. The town does not stay in this feeling for long. Life continues. And as evening returns, something familiar follows. Quiet, rest, and the gentle closing of the day. As night returns once more, the town grows quiet again. Candles glow softly behind small windows. Doors close. Footsteps fade. The square that held music, games, and crowds now stands empty. Only the marks in the ground remain. Footprints, scuffed earth, signs that people were here. Inside their homes, families settle in. Benches are pushed back. Fires burn low. Some talk quietly about what they saw during the day. Others sit in silence, tired but content. This is how entertainment ends here. Not with applause, not with noise, but with rest. In this world, joy does not come from distraction. It comes from connection, from shared moments, from laughter in simple games, from stories told and retold, from music that asks nothing in return. And as we step away from this town, we may realize something important. Even without modern comfort, people still found ways to feel human. If you've enjoyed this calm journey through history, thank you for spending your time here with an amazing storyteller. Your presence truly means a lot. If this style of storytelling helps you relax or improve your English through listening, you can gently support the channel by liking the video, sharing it with someone who might enjoy it, or subscribing for more stories like this. Before you go, I'd love to hear from you. Which moment from today stayed with you the most? You can share your thoughts in the comments. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being here. Until next time, take care and keep listening.